Hello, everyone. Welcome to week two of Sustainability and Society. This week, we're going to really dig into the sustainability content. We'll go over some really key concepts that sort of underlie everything we're going to go over the rest of the semester. So first of all, we'll start off with what is sustainability. This is something I'm sure you've all heard sustainability mentioned in all kinds of different contexts. Sometimes it's called green, right? Like there's green everything now. There's green buildings and green energy and green fashion. I mean, it's all over the place. So I want to start with sort of what does it really mean to be sustainable, and what does it not mean? We'll also look at the concept of systems thinking, which is another essential core concept of sustainability. And in fact, systems thinking is a really important concept in a lot of different fields. People are recognizing how important it is to think of everything as a system. We can't think of things separately. We can't. I mean, we know that the economy impacts the environment, and the environment impacts society, and society impacts the environment, right? And so what we do here impacts people in other parts of the world, whether it's, your consumption, what you're buying, your cell phone that you're maybe not disposing of properly, and then that causes impacts to someone that has to take apart the cell phone, break it down to its components. Whatever the case may be, you have to think of everything as a system and how everything interacts. So we'll go over that this week. We'll go over the notion of sustainable community development and how these different spheres interact. A really important part of this week's content are the 3 E's of sustainability, which we'll go over, use a lot through the semester. So the 3 E's, right? So 3 words that start with E: economy, environment, and equity. And we'll go over what those 3 mean and how they interact. It's really important to understand those 3 because those are sort of form the framework of sustainability that we'll use this semester. We'll also get into briefly a brief discussion about the idea of market versus non-market value. You'll see as we go throughout the course, a sort of consistent theme is how our economic behavior or economic activity impacts the environment and society, right? I mean, the economy is just such an important aspect of our everyday lives. I mean, you're just surrounded by stuff, things that cost money, and you're, bombarded by advertisements, and that's what drives the economy. And if people aren't buying stuff, it's, that's a big problem for our GDP and all that. So the economy is just an essential aspect of living in the modern world. It's easy to equate price with value, because we're so used to thinking of things like, what is it, when you say, what is that worth, fill in the blank, what is something worth? Usually the first thing you think of is, what does it cost? But a lot of things don't have a cost that are worth a lot, Think of probably the most important things if you think about it, right? So freedom, democracy, good friendships, good family bonds, good marriages, whatever the case is. I mean, a lot of the things that we really, truly value, I mean, you can't put a price on them. And so we want to kind of distinguish between those two, and really think about what is truly valuable to living a good life, which is another consistent theme of this semester, is how to have a high quality of life, and what does that really mean? How do we attain it, and what are the impacts of that? And dig into, distinguish between what's called market value, which is how much something costs, and then non-market value, which are these things that have value but you can't put a price, or they don't have a price. And so that's really important to consider in terms of sustainability, because a lot of things with non-market value are the things that we truly want in life. So that's kind of an overview of this week. Hopefully you enjoy the content. And again, this is really important. This content really kind of lays the foundation for the rest of the semester. So I do hope that you really dig into it. If you have any questions, let me know. So the other thing is, make sure you mark your calendars for our mandatory meeting. The first one is on the 29th of January, the 30th, so Monday the 30th at 7:30 p.m. That'll be on Zoom. Thank you for filling out the doodle poll. It's going to be difficult to find the time in fact impossible, find a time that everyone works for everyone. So I'm going to do my best, and just know that if you can't make some of these other meetings, that I'll record them and post them. But I do hope that you can do everything you can to make them. That includes, if you're working, if you could, call off work, or at least take that part of work off for the day, something like that. Take a long lunch, if that works. Okay, so just keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, if you have any questions, if you need anything, please reach out, and hope you all have a great second week of the semester.